And what we have here is Final Fantasy XIII-2, the direct sequel to Final Fantasy XIII, which basically takes place a few years after Final Fantasy XIII's conclusion, where there are these paradoxes that exist that make people believe that Lightning doesn't exist or that she's dead. And Sarah, Lightning's sister from the first game, is the only one who really truly knows the truth that Lightning is still alive, but she has no idea where she is. So now she and several other residents live in these newly populated towns on Pulse. Her town is New Bodom, and when New Bodom gets attacked by monsters, this new character, Noel, here, shows up and saves her, and then the two of them venture off to go find Lightning. And so that's the story as it is of right now. And this is a chapter that's being pulled from the game for our demo. This is basically the Brescia Ruins, which fans of the first 13 will recognize the Brescia Ruins from the original game. They've been modified with through the paradoxes. Certain elements remain the same, certain elements have changed. And as a result of the paradoxes, it's creating the existence of this beast, Atlas, where he shouldn't be. And so right now we're actually about to get right into a battle with Atlas, and from there you'll actually be able to see a lot of the elements that have stayed the same and a lot of the elements that have changed. So, as you can see here, Sarah has a Moogle floating around with her, and the Moogle is an important element because he actually serves as her weapon. The Moogle can transform into a bow or a sword for Sarah, depending on what the situation calls for. And so right now the Moogle became a bow, but it'll be a sword in the actual battle. And so now that we've actually started into the battle, you can see that it still maintains the ATB gauge and the paradigm shift methods from the first game. So right now they're in double trouble. You can switch them over to slash and burn for the Commando Ravager setup. And so it still maintains a lot of the high-paced action fighting from the first game. And one thing I can mention, but I can't expand upon, is that the actual paradigm system will be elaborated upon to allow for further customization of strategy. How that is, I can't tell you just yet.
Save it for later.
But another way we've modified the battle system is we've included these cinematic action sequences, where you're required to do a quick time response with a button prompt. Success delivers damage. Failure will most likely deal damage to your party members and just set you at a disadvantage. And then there's a few other modifications to the battle system that I'll show you at the later points in the demo. Right now, Noel is making another attack on Atlas, so we're going to have a few more of these button responses. And so success. So we've dealt a good chunk of damage to Atlas with that, and now we're just going to finish him up real quickly. Maybe heal up a little bit too. Noel also has, right now he's currently wielding two swords, and at a later point in the game, you'll be able to combine the two swords to turn it into a spear as a different form of a weapon. So right now, we have defeated Atlas to the best of our ability, and so in come the soldiers to take care of the rest of it for us, which we actually get the joy of controlling the airplanes as well, at least how they attack, through another cinematic action prompt. All right, so now we finish them up. So now we're actually going into the exploring the map part of the game. And places you in the setting to wander around the Brescia ruins and the excavation site. As you can see, the town has been populated with a lot of NPCs that will offer different conversational nuggets, sometimes offering you key information on how to proceed through the game. And just a lot of different environments to interact with and to check out. Search for items, but I'm going to go ahead and skip to some of the more featured parts of the system. In this case, if you look at the map, our current objective is right here, which is to find Atlas, the same battle that we just fought, but in his full form. And so as we proceed along, you'll actually be able to see a couple of the other enhancements that have been made.
Shut this place down.
The first one is going to pop up right over here, where we basically, when you're entering battles, in 13, the enemies populated the landscape, and you would just approach them to start a battle, or if you approach them from behind, you would get a preemptive strike. In this one, you have a Mog clock. You have to attack them when the clock is pointing at green, and if you do so, you get your preemptive strike, as well as status buffs. In this case, we got haste. If you enter the battle when the clock is pointing to yellow, then you enter a normal battle. And if you enter the battle while the clock is pointing at a red target, or if you fail to start the clock at all while there's still enemies in your proximity, then you start with status debuffs. In this case, it would have been slow. And something unique just happened in that battle that I'll be able to show you in the next battle. Right now, so far, I've been functioning with a two-person party with just Noel and Sarah, but you'll see in the next battle that that changed. Because when we battled those enemies, we basically recruited them into the party when they turned into crystals. So the next time I'm able to find some enemies that populate the map, which there should be some right up here. Yep, there we go. Now I'm going to start a normal battle. All right. Oh, I still cut it on the tail end of the green. So I still get my preemptive strike. But now I have a Flanvanera as a Ravager in my party because I defeated him and recruited him. So he works as a Ravager, and if I decide I don't want that paradigm anymore, I go to Cerberus. The Warhorn Behemoth that I defeated now comes in as a Commando. And there's also going to be a Scale Beast that I can recruit later in the demo that will serve a Sentinel role. And then there will be a plethora of other monsters throughout the game that you can recruit and basically customize the paradigm system from there as you see fit. And the monsters do level up with you. We can't describe how the leveling system works just yet, but just so you know, there will be many options to customize the party as you see fit. In this case, I'm running towards where the map said my destination was, and I'm probably going to run into a few other battles in the meantime, in which I'll still be able to show you some features. Here's that Scale Beast. So now I'm going to defeat him so that I can have a Sentinel in my role, which will be very important when it comes to the Atlas fight. Alright. So now I've recruited the Scale Beast as a Stone Fist in my party.